That was the trick.
That was the trick. Yes. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. I'll be getting started here real soon. We are excited. We'll give you guys a couple of minutes to jump on. There they go. Come on, where my fams at? I know my mom and my sister's supposed to get on, my bestie. And Patricia. I used to get a couple of people on there too. But the most I get on here. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on. Thank you for your patience with us. I'm so excited. Man, why's my whole head cut off? It's gonna be, at least you in there. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm going to start at 7:03. Thank you so much, guys, for jumping on. My background music is Dappy T Keys. You guys know that come on regularly. You know that that's what I normally have in the background, or to make sure that it's not too loud. Whoever this is on my, what is that, TikTok? No, what is that, Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram, can you please tell me if the music is okay? Wow, those words in my face is going to be no joke. Yes. 2 more minutes and we're going to jump right into it. I'm super excited about tonight. You know, Living Free with Deborah B, according to the Red Couch, it's the jump off on the 7th, 14th, and the 21st. And so we're packed with a lot of entertainment and a lot of advice, a lot of love, a lot of blessings. Yeah. Hey, we look good on that screen, huh? One of these days, we're going to have it all professional. Well, we got to get in where we fit in. And so, thank you. Thank you. Whoever that is on my Instagram, thank you. I think I'm only on Instagram and Facebook. I couldn't get my TikTok up for some reason, but you guys are here with me, so we'll just rock out tonight. Thank you for jumping on. Is that you, Letitia? 1 more minute, we'll get started. 1 more minute and we will get started. Thank you guys for being here. We are excited to be a part of your evening. Yes, Letitia is watching. Thank you. Oh, 2 people on there. That's what's up. Thank you. Who is that? Hey! Hey, whoever that is, say hey, Miss D. What's going on? The music is perfect. Thank you so much. That's why I like interacting with people. You see what I'm saying? You ask people for help, and they give you the help you need. So, yeah, we're excited. All right, it's 7:03, and that is the time that I like to get started. So I want to say good evening and welcome to Corner of the Red Couch. Corner of the Red Couch is a talk show under the umbrella of Living Free with Deborah B. I am your host, Deborah B., and I am the visionary of this platform. It is an honor to have you here with us tonight at this very moment, to take your precious time out. I just want to thank you for being here, because time is a precious commodity, and for you guys to come on and support the vision is just an excellent feeling to me, to have people in my corner. So thank you so much for being here. Please be please be reminded that the platform airs on the 7th, the 14th, and the 21st of every month, which means that the dates will always be the same. The time, 7 p.m., will always be the same, but the days of the week will always change. So mark your calendar, mark your alarm clocks, all of that for the 7th, 14th, 21st of every month at 7 p.m. Also, many of you who have heard me, my intro, but for the sake of those who are on for the first time, I want to take the time to make you guys understand that this platform is designed to appeal to the LGBTQ community, but it is not exclusive to that community only. It is my passion to affect and infect the one in front of me with the love of God, while using biblical foundational principles to support my kingdom stance. Well, it's been a long time since I've had a guest on the platform, and I haven't had anyone since last year. So it is an honor to have my first guest of 2024. My guest is an author, the founder of Over the Books. She's a military vet, serves the homeless community, an advocate, and speaker, and servant of the Lord. She is my client, She is my friend, Dr. Natalie Kennedy. Welcome to the platform.
All right.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. It's an honor to be here and just be able to share whatever I may be able to share.
I'm excited about it. We're going to let you share a whole lot because the stuff that God allowed you to create is amazing. And so I just wanted to welcome you properly to the platform. Okay, Dr. Kennedy, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend time with me and my listeners and giving us the opportunity to hear about you and share your creative giftings. You got to be here.
Okay.
I'm a little rusty, y'all. Bear with me. And there are so many angles I can inquire of you about. However, I would like to start with the books. Over the books. When did you start the company and why?
Over the Books has always been, first of all, thank you again. It's always been a dream for me to have a bookstore because I was an avid writer and reader. And so I enjoy reading since I was a teenager and writing. So later on, I'm sure in my life I was going to be a bookstore owner. I just knew I would be. But it didn't come into about until like believe it or not, 2020, when we went down and everybody had to stay inside. So I said, you know what, people should be reading books. How about that? They don't have anything else to do. And I put it all together early that year and then tried to push it out in certain malls here in the Tampa Bay area. And that's when it was born. Over the Books is a homage to my high school that Will Smith went to and Wilt Chamberlain. Over the Books High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm born and raised.
Oh, yeah. Praise God. That's what's up. I didn't even know all that. See, that's why you got to have people on your platform so you can learn something new about them. You have several different books that you have written, and I've had the pleasure of reading a few of them. Tell me your top 3 favorites and why they are your favorites.
Oh, my God.
You can show the books if you want.
Oh, sure. My top 3 favorites my first one is Dr. Neighborhood. Dr. Neighborhood. I was kind of pissed off a little later when I found out the illustrator actually put AKA her and AKA colors. I didn't know that till later.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm not into that. But I found out that that's what they were. Dr. Neighborhood, though, is my favorite because most of my books really have a little bit of me inside of them. Something that and they're inspirational based, and Dr. Neighborhood is one of them. Dr. Neighborhood, she was a young lady named Marie, which is true. When we had our spring breaks, when we had our, at the summertime when school was out, Marie would continue to teach us and be a teacher, and she knew everything in the neighborhood. So that's Dr. Neighborhood. She knows everything. We went to her for everything. But she really didn't know everything. And this book actually teaches her to learn how to pray. She learns how to pray later on when she goes to church. And she finally learns how to help her friend who was in the hospital for a long time and, drinking lemonade and all that. And the doctor will go away. That wasn't it. She learned how to pray, and she prayed over her friend. And at the end, they come together. At the end, they come together at the end. So this is really my favorite because she learns how to pray. Dr. Neighborhood. My second one is actually...
Excuse me for 1 minute. So you guys know all of her books are inspirationally written. So I just want to let you know that. Go ahead.
They are. All of them are my favorites, really. They really, really are. I have poetry books. I have... you know what? I'm going to go with The Shadow Cat. The Shadow Cat is for a 4-year-old up to about 8 or 9. And this is actually was my first self-publishing all by myself, learning how to do it, how to publish. And The Shadow Cat why it's one of my favorites because it can teach our young ones, 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, how to discover who they are. The mirror, you're looking in the mirror and you're just like, who am I? Who can I be? And this is how a young person can discover themselves through The Shadow Cat. And this has become one of my favorites. And it could be used for our young ones, those who are struggling with mental health, those who don't know who they are, self-esteem and confidence. This is really one of my favorites. Again, all of them are my favorite, but we're gonna go with an adult book, which is Twisted Love.
Yeah.
Twisted Love. I dabbled. I'm really a children's book author, but I was like, you know what? I want to see if I can write and appeal to our adults, and
You did it. That was good.
I did it. Thank
I got to
you.
talk about that one. Don't
Yeah,
talk too much
yeah.
about that
All
one.
right. Twisted Love is, it just came to me, and I just started writing. It's just, and that's how I do it. I'm thanking the Lord that I have that gift to just sit down and write, and here's the story. So I think I was struggling through just, how people would say they love me, and then they did nothing for me. They didn't call me, they didn't do anything. And so I was like, I need to write about that.
Right.
And that's how this book actually came about. And I had to be very careful not to use any names, but definitely the people the examples that I put in here are from real people. They're real people. When they said they called me and they wouldn't, they said they would help me and they wouldn't, but they definitely said that they loved me, and I was confused.
Yeah, that book is
so
good.
it's a little bit twisted. I'm not talking anything bad about you saying love, but it's twisted in how we use it. And this is one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Okay, so my favorite of the ones that I've read are Twisted Love and A Dolphin's Tale. Now, Twisted Love, literally, let me see that book.
Which one?
That one, yeah, Twisted Love. So Twisted Love, when you look at this cover, for those of y'all, let me put it a little closer so you can see. So when you look at this cover, you think, the first thing I thought when I saw the cover is, okay, we about to get into some heat with some love relationships and all of that stuff. But man, when I tell you, she went a whole different angle and just talked about the accountability that love should bring.
Right.
And she tied it into godly love. So she kind of piggybacked off of the twistedness of expressing love. That's what it really was about. And I really enjoyed it because, number one, it caught me off guard. Number two, it challenged me to operate in the spirit of excellence in my expression of love. So, like you were saying, people saying, hey, I'm going to do this, hey, I'm going to do that. People don't keep their word. And guess what? Love is an action word. It's a verb. And so you're looking for people to extend their version of hey, I do love you. Yeah, but if you love me, then there should be some fruit behind how much you love me, And so I can completely understand what you meant with the whole twisted thing. And it's unfortunate, too, because people will easily say, oh, I love you. And they don't have the value of what that looks like in its completeness. You know what I mean? As opposed to, like, her and I are a lot like, we have a heart for God, we have a heart for God's people, and so we are always giving and doing and serving and all the things that we do. So Twisted Love was really a good book. It was a challenge for you, yes, but it was a good write. And so we're going to give you guys the information you need to be able to get a hold of these books. And what I suggest you do is to purchase at least one of them, even two, one for an adult, one for a child, and bless somebody with it. Because when I tell you the stories, out of the 4 or 5 that I've read, the stories that come out are really profound, and she's a quick hitter with it. I love how you are a quick hitter with the message. You set it all up, and then bam, and then she puts the closure. So she's an incredibly gifted artist in the area of writing for the youth. But also, I believe you met the challenge with Twisted Love. I believe that you can do well with the adults, even if you continue that path. We'll see. Only God knows, right?
That's right.
So I would have never expected you to have that inspirational love as a basis. So, but the inspirational love in that book was very profound, and so I wanted to comment on that. I was pleasantly surprised when I read it, and I found that you were talking about the love of God and how we should embrace His love as well. Were you purposely trying to have a title that would cause people to think differently about the book and cause them to be drawn to it when you made it?
I did. That was the main thing I wanted to. We all know that God is love, and supposedly the love of the Lord is supposed to be in us. So then we should project that love that the Lord has given us, but we don't.
Right.
And I'm not saying everybody, but we don't. So
But we could do better.
We can do better. How about that? Yeah. And so I saw that twisted part of how we show the love of the Lord to other people, and it's just twisted to me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just have. It's actually called Twisted Love, kind of, sort of. I had to put that, that urban thing in there, kind of, sort of, because I still have to say, who I am, and so I just was like, I'm kind of funny in a way, so kind of, sort of was kind of cool. So I wanted to let people think about how they actually say and use the word, and if they are believers and trust in God, and how they should reflect back to what they should do with God's love. And so that's why that was put. I wanted them to see and feel the perspective of how you're supposed to really love. I think it's a challenge for everybody.
I think so too.
We want it, we have it, but for some strange reason we get all twisted up, and it gets. And even in the book it says, we stay with people. We say we love them, but then we don't do anything. We stay with people for convenience, but we still say that we love. We still say we love our grandchildren, but only on the weekend. We love our dog, but we don't want to walk the dog, but we love the dog. And then at the end of every conversation, some people will say, love you. I've had it 3 or 4 times today. Matter of fact, just a few minutes ago, someone said, see you later, love you. And I just go, really? But you don't even know me. But what is that? Is that just saying it? Is it a Christian way of saying it? Or you're just saying it? I don't know. But I just look. I'm always surprised when it happens, because the word is very important to me, and it always has been. So I try not to use it. I try not to use it. I try not to say it. And when I do say it, when I do say it, I kind of go, okay, did I really mean it?
I think when I say, I wouldn't say think, I know when I say it, it's from a place of loving the being. I mean, there is a level of love that I reach, my best friends, hey, I love you. I tell Zoe, I tell Mel, I tell my mom, but I take care of them. They take care of me. So the exchange is great. But I believe that the exchange is great because of my relationship with the Lord. I believe that the more that you get revelation of God's love for you and his people, the more you can exemplify his love to him and to his people. Are we perfect at it? Absolutely not. No. We're definitely not perfect. And so your challenge, even today when you said somebody said, I love you, you don't know me. Sometimes I think when I say it that freely, it's just I love you with the love because you're a person, because you're a human being. Okay. So, we could say it in a way where it doesn't seem meaningful, but it could be in regards to how we perceive love. And I think that's the twist on love, is how you interpret it, how you define it, and how you operate in it. Yeah. So it can come across twisted.
But that's the reason why I wrote the book, because like I said, I struggled with it because I felt that love was a powerful word and it really should embrace. It is. It should be. But as you go through your daily walk, the word is just thrown out here and there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, so I struggled with it, but I also wanted to put it out. But I still struggle with it because, like I said, when people say they love you and then they do something totally opposite, I'm just like, well, what is that? Yeah. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. When you look at that perspective, that's kind of like, you don't love me. You could say that. Like, you don't even know me.
Yeah. You know what I mean? What's that about?
What you love, the idea of me? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you could, I get it. That sounds reasonable. I get it. With Dolphin Tale, along with the other books, how are you inspired to come up with titles and messages that each book will carry?
I love that. I think I just was gifted actually in a way, because me even looking outside here and I see the trees, which I love trees and the shape of them, just like I love the water. I can sit and write something about the broken branches and how the trees are going, the branches are going different ways. And then most of the time I could take that and go ahead and put it together with our everyday life. Right. So I know I can write something on how it's bending and broken and all that, and then turn it into a person or a message, exactly, of so it can be related to back to a person so they can understand it.
Right.
So that's kind of like how I write. The Dolphin's Tale, which you said you read,
Yes.
I'm loving that. The Dolphin's Tale was it talks about me in a way because I love the water, but I'm scared to get in it.
Really?
Yes. All them fish in the water, I'm not doing that.
What
You're
about
not
the
biting
pool?
me. I can get in pools.
Okay.
But this is about being in the ocean. And
Right.
that's what he actually dreamed of, was going in the ocean. And it was the dolphin that lifted him up and took him out in the ocean. He was very happy and brought him back. The only thing, was it a tail?
Yeah.
Or did he actually go on the dolphin's tail? And then his mother asked him all about it. But it had a little bit of me because of just being afraid to... well, I actually had a disability, so I wanted to point that out, that you could still do anything even with your disability. And he dreamed of going out into the water.
Right.
He got bit by a crab, which I did in Cape May, New Jersey.
Wow.
And I think from that point on, as a child, I never went into the water. I can go in a little bit, go with my feet, but that's it.
Oh, so that's basically a fear that you overcome. You need to overcome.
I can get in the water.
Okay.
I just don't want to.
Oh, okay.
I know that there's sea moss out there, and there's fish that, and sharks. If I could swim, I was in the Navy for 21 years. We had to go in the water at some point. But I just don't want to, because I just know this creepy crawly things. I don't even like walking in the sand because I know this, but I love the sand. I love walking into it. So it could be a fear, but I can overcome it. I know I have to do it.
Right.
You know, just like when I went in the Navy, I knew they were going to throw me in 16, 17 feet of water. I've never been in that deep before, but I knew it, and I jumped in it and overcame. You had
That part. Which books were the most challenging to write, and why? She has several, by the way, you guys. I have
do.
about 8.
8.
Yeah.
I thought that Special Delivery was challenging because I'm talking about a dog, and I don't have a dog, and I don't care to have a dog. But
Only her.
but what happened was someone actually always talked about their dog. Mumphrey was his name, all the time when I was at work. And it was a Boston Terrier. This is a Boston Terrier. All the time. I watch my dog, I do this, so she really loved her
People
dog.
love their dogs.
I mean, just like human beings. It's crazy. Look at what that dog is doing. I'm like, oh, I don't want it. What?
Birthday parties.
Yeah, you know, little hat on their head, just all of that. Put clothes on them, sunglasses. I'm like, really? This is an animal. Anyway.
Right.
But Special Delivery was challenging because I had to think about how to make this so we would understand the differences. Most of Boston Terriers are black and white. This was an orange, kind of reddish. And he was in a little, his mother gave about 6 or 7 of them, but they were all black and white. They all were adopted except for him. And that's the story. It's like, well, who's going to adopt me? So I wrote it that way. And at the end, yes, Special Delivery, at the end, he gets delivered to the young man at the end. So it was a special delivery for the young man in the story. So, but it was very difficult because I'm talking in a dog's perspective. The dog is speaking, and this is really a hard.
That's kind of different.
The dog is actually, so I'm the dog, and I'm speaking.
His mind, the mind of the dog.
Yes.
Wow.
But it teaches,
I'll have to read it.
It teaches us how to love one another when you're different and despite your differences. So that's how this. It was challenging to write, but in the end, it was a special delivery. Yeah, so
that's what's up. You have been encouraging me and many others to write a book. You've been encouraging me for years, and I'm on it now, thank God. If you had to advise someone on starting to write, what would you tell them? What would you say to them?
I just recently wrote this poem called Tell Your Story. And all I said when I began it, I said, it started out right.
W-R-I-T.
W-R-I-T-E.
Wow.
What about? Doesn't matter. Just right. We all have a story in us. So the piece is just right. The person said to me, I want to write the whole story all at the same time. No, you can't do that. No, I just want to sit and write my whole story. No, no, no.
So it's not good to do that.
I don't think you really. I think you can, but then you're. Oh, no, no. I don't think you can. I think you can, but I don't think it's right to do it that way. I think as you go along your every day, you should write something down.
Okay.
Write it down. Write it down. This person wants to go all the way back to when they was 2 years old, all the way until they're 48, and they just want to sit there and write that story. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that would be very hard.
Yeah,
And
because
it'll
you miss
mess
out
you
on a
up.
lot.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
miss
So
out on
right
a
now,
lot.
just write a little bit, and that's what I have told.
Every day, though.
Try to do it every day on something, because it was like, well, what do I write about? Oh, well, you write about your day. Write about who you bumped into. Write about the dog you saw outside. Just write something. Later on, you'll put it all together, and later on, things will come to you. And later on, a message will come to you. And later on, you might start to cry about something, and then you'll plug in here and there in between those lines. But right now, just write. Write something. Write about. Matter of fact, at the end, some of that you wrote might not even be the story. It'll be something else. But write. Start to write now.
Right.
And where, on what? I wrote on a journal, a notebook, a piece of paper, a napkin. But just write and put it together.
It does make sense because, you know what I did? I mean, after listening to you for so many years, I did an outline. I just started with an outline. You know, people, I guess, write differently or organize differently, and the way that my moderator was telling me, he said, just write an outline of what you want to talk about in the book. And just don't miss anything. Whatever it is, write it. And that's what I did. So I wound up having about probably 30 different lines.
Okay.
And so I'm putting the book together. You know, you read the introduction, but we got to do better than that.
It's okay.
It wasn't my introduction, but, well, we thank God for how it went.
Right.
So, but I know I can do better because I believe that, like, I was having someone write for me. And I don't think that someone can capture what I experience and my ability to express that on paper. I don't think anybody can do it the way I can do it. People can do it because obviously people write people's biographies and all of that stuff. But in my first book, I would like to write my own story and relive those experiences so I can articulate the emotion behind what I experienced. That's what I believe. And having had you read what you read, you was like, yeah, no. You do it yourself.
Now, they do have ghostwriters. This is true. And you would be talking, and I would be writing what you're saying, and, you know, I would be putting in my words and all that. But, and I think a lot of our well-known people who are writers, and they push out books like every other day, they have those ghostwriters. But I just feel it should come really from, so you can put it, and I screamed, and I teared for 3 days, and would I be able to do that?
No.
While listening to you, I wouldn't be able to put that in there where you would.
Oh, that's good.
So I just feel that the person should really write their story, nobody else.
I think so too. At least for my first book, I think once I get more out there, because I do music, I do ministry. I appeal to the LGBTQ community. I'm a talk show. I'm a speaker. I do all of that. So I believe as I get busier, my schedule will get more full, then it would be safe to use a ghostwriter. But still, even in that, have my emotions added if I needed to with the ghostwriter, if that's possible. I don't know. I'm not experienced, but but I'm willing to go there. Okay, your heart is so big toward God and His people. You are always keeping yourself in a position as a servant. You do this in so many ways. I watch. I mean, you always are blessing me every time I see you. You're blessing me with something. Can you share with us regarding the homeless ministry you're affiliated with? Share with us about that part of who you are.
Wow, that is as tiresome and exhausting as it can be. I always pray for strength and for me to be healthy, to be able to do what I do, because some of it is a lot of hard work, mentally and physically, because when you're around a whole lot of people who are unhoused, as they want to call it, or homeless, they have their problems, and then sometimes they want to talk to you, and you have to be able to embrace them and listen. And a lot of times it's gibberish, and sometimes it's on point, because some homeless people could be professors who had a mental breakdown, but they're still very smart. They just don't have a place to live. So,
Wow.
yeah, and they are out there. I met a guy who plays the piano very, very well, and he is all jacked up. His hair is all, and he's just like, hey, Natalie, are you gonna? And I was like, yeah. He says, I'm gonna go play that piano. I was like, okay, go ahead. And he
plays it.
Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. It's like, what? But
Wow.
to see him, you would not know that. Yeah. And I was reading a book the other day in the park, and this guy walked over. What book? Oh, I know that book, he said to me. And I was like, what? Okay, fine. Yes, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he just talked about all these books that he had read. And I was like, what? And he ended up telling me he had a mental breakdown not too long ago, a couple of years ago. And he was a professor. So, you know, mentally and physically it is a lot. But I am my mother's daughter, and she was in the community way back in Philadelphia doing things. I grew up going out into the community. My mom would drag me. At that time, we thought it was drag me out here and there. And I was like, why are we here? But somewhere it got into me to say, hey, there's people out there that want to be seen and want to be heard. And I'm just one of the hands or feet or eyes to do that.
Give them that opportunity. That's so sweet.
Yeah, and I love doing it. Like I said, it is exhausting sometimes because some people think they're entitled to whatever we're trying to give them.
Even as homeless people.
Yes,
Ooh.
yes.
The gratitude,
and
no gratitude.
You don't. You're supposed to be like, if you're in a ministry volunteering, you don't want to like curse at them like, hey, get out of my face. But you know, that sometimes they take advantage of your kindness. So it's just, even in their predicament, they're still human beings.
Right.
So, you know, but I love doing it. I wouldn't change it for anything. And I do 5 or 6 organizations, and that's a lot.
Yes, a lot. We're gonna let you talk about them.
But I love doing it. I love doing it. And proceeds of my books actually go back into the community for taller trees and hygiene bags and just stuff like that I think of that I can give to them when I'm out and amongst them.
Amen. That's what's up. I had the opportunity to come and minister in song at one of your homeless events, which was a few years ago. But I love the excellence. You know, you think when people, this is my thought process. Let me speak for myself. When you think of homeless, you think of, oh, they giving them the bottom of whatever they got. But this one, they got top of the line. They had bacon, egg, and cheese. They had toast and pancakes, and they had waffles, and I was like, whoa. And people are preparing it like they're preparing it for their families. And you're right. There are some people there that were entitled, like, you know, like, I'm out here, we in this, you doing it for us, so give it to us, like that thing. So I did encounter that lack of gratitude, but the excellence that her and the people that she's affiliated with, that I've been exposed to, was over the top. And I couldn't even believe that was a level of excellence that you guys were meeting for those people and with their situations and circumstances. So yeah, I'm grateful to. What is your personal experience with ministering to them, and how would you advise others who are interested in helping to start serving also?
Well, first of all, if you have to have the compassion to do it, not just to say, you know, like the teenagers, they need 100 hours for their high school, and they'll pop up and they'll volunteer some hours so they can get their hours. That's all great. We need them. That is true. But if you do it as long as I have, you end up meeting and knowing these people, and they know your name. Hey, Natalie, how you doing? Hey, hey, you know, you're walking in. How you doing? Hi, Malcolm. Hi, Jerry. Hi, this and that.
Wow.
And you end up almost like becoming their sister or their brother.
Family.
Yeah, and so you have to have the heart to want to do it and to continue to do it, not just, oh, I got a day off and my company said that I should volunteer somewhere. That's good too. Thank you very much for coming out. But to continue to do it over and over and over again, you have to have the compassion and the heart to do it. I think some of it is me having a sense of belonging. When I see those, especially Malcolm, he calls me out. Half the time I don't even know the people are there because I'm working. And they say, hey, Nat. Joyce will come by and say, hey, Nat, she'll come by wherever I'm working at. And I'll look up and I go, hey, do I want to give them my phone number? Sure, I would love to. Will I be able to help them out? I would love to. But We have to use wisdom.
Right. Because it will blow you up.
Yeah, and we can't help everyone. We can't help
Right.
everyone. We want to, but we can't. We're just part of. I'm just part of what everybody else is doing. So my smile is part of that for them for that day, where somebody else might help them with food, somebody else might help them with transportation, but I help them with a smile. So I can only do what I can really do.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So I love doing it. And I would just tell someone, you have to want to give back, basically. If you're just doing it just because, that's fine. But to keep doing it and doing it, you have to want to. Because you're going to bump into some people that will probably get on your nerves, that just like your coworkers, but you can't really, or you can't, you shouldn't want to curse them out. So you have to also be yourself, too. A lot of people come there, and especially those ministries that I volunteer with, and they come there and they're like, oh, and God said you will be. And sometimes those people don't want to hear that because they're still on the street.
Right.
You know, you're getting in your car when you go, I'm getting under the bridge.
Right.
So, so you almost have to be.
That's real, though.
Yeah, you have to be compassionate about it and just say, hey, you know, I'm not going to go like that. But if you can't, if they want to talk to you about the Lord, that's fine. But you can't go
bombard them.
Yeah, like, you know, you will be blessed. You are blessed right now. Well, wait a minute. Again,
don't feel like I am.
That's right. So
that's real.
You have to tackle it in a way that's loving and caring. So basically, you have to want to do it, and it has to be in your heart to do it. And you're going to get dirty. So you have to want to get dirty as well. And just like, oh my God, he's so, or she is. Well, if you're like that, then pick the right organization. How about that?
Trial and error. If it don't work, don't go back.
There you go. So
right.
That's my advice.
Amen. You share with me some of your interactions with others you've worked with within the homeless ministry. Share some of the challenges someone could experience while serving in the homeless ministry.
Again, you almost have to be open-minded.
You can't get cursed out then, right?
Yeah, you can. The thing about it is, which I've learned, thank you, is not to take it personal. A lot of times the leaders, either they're unorganized or they're some control freaks. So, and you have to be able to, which I have because I was in the military, take, what do they call it? When they tell you what to do, what is that called? Commands. You know, go over there, go over here, go over there, come back here. No, you ain't. Bop, bop, bop. So you have to be able to be open to accept all of that. Meanwhile, in your heart, you're saying, but, and that's what I do every time that I go to some of the places where some of the people who lead are kind of messed up. I just say, I'm not doing it for them. I don't really see them. I'm doing for you, Lord, and the people that are here.
That's so good.
And that's how I'm able to not let those people who are in charge, who are kind of jerks, not to make me stop and not go again.
Or shut you down,
or shut me down, or even want to curse them out. Because I have been there. It's like, I'm not going back there again, but I was like, but I'm not really going there for that person who's not running it right. I'm going there to help the people. And a couple of the places I go to, you know, I just have that, I guess, that smile. I don't know, but it's like, oh, we're so glad you're here. When you're not here, we know it. You know?
So, your organizational skills are on point. So
right.
I'm sure they know when you're not. Can you advise the listening audience on how they can get plugged in and help to assist you and your affiliates?
I guess by following me, I guess, because I use the social media platform only for letting people know what I do, and once they see what I do, then hopefully that will encourage them to do it. So I do list all the organizations that I volunteer with. I try to put the links on there, and all they have to do is hit it, see where it's at, and if it fits them, if that's something that they want to do and get involved with, then that's the way that I kind of say, hey, because somebody was like, why are you always putting what you do on social media?
Oh,
You're
that's
just trying to,
okay.
and I'm like, well, I do it so they'll know what I do, but I also put the organizations on there so they can hit Mr. Bubbles Shower. I put their link on there, and it's like, whoa, you can volunteer helping people take showers. I didn't even know that was there.
Oh, wow.
And so that's what I do. I put the links on, or I'll put that organization on there on my social media platform so they can link into it and say, well, yeah. And then I also show pictures. I show pictures. And
You
so,
do. You
yeah,
very,
I can
very
show the
much so.
pictures, and then you go, oh, that might be something I might want to do. And so I try to put that together. And sometimes it does bother me to do that because people were acting all goofy about it. But how are you to know what's out there? Of course, you can always go on volunteermatch.com, and you can do this, that churches have volunteer stuff and all that. Hey, the organizations that I can, volunteer with, I like them. They're kind of okay. If you can get over some of the leaders. But that's how I kind of try to have them. Most of them are ministries. I think all of them are ministries because I want to make sure that it's not wild and crazy. They're not scamming anybody, and they really have the heart for the people, and that we pray for the people. We have a prayer station in some of the organizations I volunteer with, and that we are tapped into the Lord Jesus Christ, and that's who we love.
Amen. Isn't he the best? He is the absolute best. We are going to give you guys the information later on in the chat, on the live, for Dr. Kennedy. And so you can plug in and find her and seek if you want to be a part of the things that she is doing in the community. When you see people in their military uniforms, I always give them like a quick, thank you for serving. Listen, without question. I could be in the airport. Somebody could walk in that shop where I work at, and I'm like, thank you for serving. I could be in Walmart. It doesn't matter. If I see an individual, male or female, young or old, in a military uniform, I always greet them with a thank you, because you don't know what they gave up or gone through or overcome in order to still be here with us. And so what branch of government, I think you mentioned it, but you said it real low. What branch of government, military, what branch of military did you serve in? Maybe I should put these on. How many years did you serve? And if you had to do it all over again, would you, and why?
I was in the United States Navy, and I served for 21 years. Mainly on the West Coast. I call myself a West Coast sailor. It wasn't until I was about to get out and retired that I wanted to get closer to Philadelphia, where I'm from. I wanted Virginia. I asked for Virginia, and they gave me Florida. So here I am, forever. So, so I served there. I was an air traffic controller, so they called me kind of like a queen because I didn't get my hands dirty. I was an air traffic controller for at least 17 or 18 of those years. Wow. The first couple of years,
that's why you're so smart.
I don't know, but I loved it. It was great. I had a great time. Would I do it again? I probably would, in a way, but further back. I went in, I'm a little old. I went in 75, well, kind of 74, 75. I would probably have loved to have served in I came in near the Vietnam War was ending. I probably would have liked it if I would have been a little bit earlier, because then I would have made an impact, a real impact, because then you're getting the planes down who needed to come down and taking off to go get the people from Vietnam and all that. That would have been really, really great. I would have loved that. However, would I do it again? Earlier, yes. Now, no. They changed so many things. The women's hairs are down. I mean, we had strict restrictions. Now it's willy-dilly, it's free. They're just doing whatever they want. They're even on TikTok doing dances in their uniform and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah, and I'm just like, wait a minute,
You could have never got away with that, right?
No, and when I went in, it was on the edge of them accepting women. You could only be a nurse at that time. So I had my struggle trying to be an air traffic controller because it was a different time for women and for people of color. So to get into some of those high-tech positions, or MOS, as they would say, military occupational specialist time, was, you had to be kind of smart, to get into those things. Other than that, you were a secretary, you know, a pencil pusher. You were a store clerk, you know, supply person. But to get anything a little bit higher, it took a lot of and you had to push through. I failed the first time I went to the air traffic control school because they said I was a little bit too urban. Because I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" You know. Turn around. Yeah.
Thugging. She in the military.
So they was like, you know, you can't speak like that. So they failed me a couple of times. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I knew I had to straighten up and fly right, as they would say. And so I loved every bit of it. Very challenging because they did not expect for me to continue on, and I did. So that was really a victory for me.
That is a victory. If you had to recruit somebody to serve, how would you do that?
To serve
in the military, in the Navy?
Ugh. I wouldn't. I used to volunteer at the USO at the airport here in Tampa, and a lot of the recruits would come through there on their way to go to where they needed to go for their basic training. And I always would say, what branch of service are you going into? And they would say Army or whatever. The Navy, no. The Air Force, yes. The Air Force is luxury. It's like being here. This is what their room would look like.
Really?
Actually. Yeah. I mean, they would get steak and lobster and all. We would get chili, you know, and hot dogs. But
heck no.
yeah, it's totally different of the different branches. I would recruit. I would say, hey, go into the Air Force. I think you would love it. I think they treat their people much better there, men and women. The Navy, maybe so if you like the water. But I didn't like the water. But my believe it or not, growing up in Philadelphia. Some of our pastime was to my family would go to the airport. We would sit on the top of the roof. They would gather their berries from the tree around the way there. They would have their crabs. They would drink, and we would watch the planes go over. And that was my quest to become involved around airplanes, actually. Wow. And I always wondered, how do they get where they're going? I finally learned later it was an air traffic controller that does it. I would watch that tower. I watched the planes in and out. And in my yearbook, it said that that's what I wanted to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
what happened. Yeah. Air Force, go all the way.
Well, thank you for that, but it's still a no for me. I'm not going to the military. Never had no hunger for the military. However, I will always give honor where honor is due for those who serve our country, because it is not an easy thing to do. So I'm grateful for that. Okay, Dr. Kennedy, how can people plug in and support you? How can you be reached?
Well, I can be reached at nataliemkennedy.com. And on that website, there is a contact form. It says contact me, contact us. You can just go on there and you can find out. You can put it in there so I can maybe read to a school or just read to your organization or talk about a writing workshop or just donating to me to the things that I do out into the community. So nataliemkennedy.com.
So www.Natalie, N-A-T-A-L-I-E-M, Kennedy,
KENNEDY.com. Now, old school was www, but you sometimes don't have to use that anymore. You just
you don't.
You just put in.
You said old school. I'm old school.
Sorry, y'all. My bookstore is overthebooks.com, and on occasions they may ask, what is the URL? And you have to put the HTTP and all that. You really don't. Overthebooks.com. That's it. You don't have to put the www no more, but you can, and it'll still pop up. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you on any social media platforms? And if so, should they just go right to the website and that'll link them to the social medias, or do you want to share some of the social media platforms you're on?
And thank you for that. I'm learning how to work my website. My website is looking great. NatalieMKennedy.com. will get you to my YouTube channel, because I have all my videos now plugged on that website. The YouTube channel is Natalie M. Kennedy _ about the books, and there I talk about many books, my books, and how you can tap into some really great books that are out there that you probably have never heard of. My Instagram is Natalie M. Kennedy _ author. Yeah. And I'm all over the place with Natalie M. Kennedy. I learned that for people to easily define you, to use your name. Because if you use some other name, they're like, what about the goat? What? No, that's not. Use your name, and they'll always remember, and they'll be easily to find you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what's up. If anybody wanted to hire you to read or speak to the youth, are you willing to extend yourself in that capacity, which you really basically already answered?
Yeah, I am. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm just starting out to this year, after my surgery, I'm going to be doing a book tour and in Florida, and then I'm going to be moving out of the states and going to fly. I hate to fly, but to fly to other states and hopefully push myself out there with the help of the Lord. Because what happened is earlier before, I was always saying, oh, this person's going to help me and that person's going to help. We're going to partner with that person. I'm going to collaborate with that person. And it just hasn't happened. And I end up saying to myself, only you, Lord, or to give you the glory, you have to make this happen for me.
Right.
Not that person, not her, him, she, none of that.
Right.
It has to be you, and it'll come in. And so far, things have happened that I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And it's because of him. And that's the only way that I want these things to happen. So the Lord will put it on your heart to say, hey, and you'll contact me, but I know it's from the Lord.
Oh, okay. That's so good.
Yeah,
You leave it right there. Leave it in his hands.
Yes.
And you respond the way you need to when people contact you.
Right.
That's what's up. Okay, now, if there's anything else that I may have left out that is of importance to you to share with the listening audience, please feel free to speak to those under the sound of my voice regarding those things I haven't.
No, I think you tapped on to everything that is connected to me, the volunteer that I love to do, though I did say it was very tiresome. I was telling Miss D here that I do all day from 7 to 6. I volunteer, and I always try to take this Thursday off to come back, to recuperate, to just rest and be silent and quiet and just don't do anything except for take my trash out.
Right.
But, and then,
I know that.
but then I go and I lay back down and for at least half of the day, not have anything going on, just so I can just say, okay, what happened here? Okay. And I always do my devotions early in the morning to start me out. And I always do communion in the morning as well. And then I go about my day. So volunteering, thank you for bringing that up. That's my passion. Writing, I'm getting good. I'm getting better. So I just told her that I spit out about 50 poems Monday and Tuesday for a contest. So I know I have the gift to write, which sometimes you don't really say it to yourself, but I think I do. And that kind of did it for me.
What I read, you're kind of tight with it.
And just changing my ways of thinking and trying to be a better person. I think that's the main thing that we should try to do. We're not perfect, as you said, and I'm learning about myself. So every day we should try to learn about ourselves and to be kind to one another.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is my last question. You know that this platform is designed to appeal to the LGBTQ community, and it's my greatest desire to love the hell out of people and have it into them. If you could share one thing with those people in that community that is of the heart of the Father, what would you share?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one only because I try to take people where they are. So it's really, I think my only concentration would be that to build a person up, whatever they may be going through, wherever they might seem to be or want to be or are okay. I probably wouldn't concentrate too much on that. I would be concentrating on their heart and to bring them to learn of the Lord.
Yeah.
And I
His
think
love.
later on, and we don't know, it could be tomorrow or it could be a couple of years from now, just focusing on them to know about the Lord and the Word
And His
and
love.
open it up and His love. So, I've never opened up my Bible, okay, but there are some instructions in there that might help you. In Proverbs, you can see how to talk to your neighbor and your coworker and all that. If you start to get some of those things going on, other things will fall into place when you start to learn more about the Lord. So that's what I would concentrate on. You can be who you are. We have killers out there and all that. And they go to prison. We have all kinds of folks that are out there, and then we go like, hey, you drink too much, or If we say, hey, wait a minute, the love of the Lord is the first thing that I want to try to get you to understand. That's how I would tackle anything.
I agree.
With a person.
I agree. The word said that love draws and love covers a multitude of sin. And I believe that as the body of Christ. Now, mind you, I'm on my platform for a reason because God chose me to be on it. So there's some accountability that I'm called to and holding people to, but there's also a level of love that I operate in doing that. And so I think it's important to, like I said earlier, to love the hell out of people and have it into them. And we do that by being an example of what love looks like, not so much more judgmental. When the time comes for me, when I have to express, certain different things, then that's the time that the Lord allotted. Yeah. But until that time, I can just love you and enjoy your presence and speak to you. Now, when I'm on my platform, of course, I'm accountable for holding people to what God is right in God's eyes, but I'm not going to tear you down to do that. Right. I'm going to love you up into Him, and I think it's important that we understand that as ministers of the gospel, that our love walk, no matter who we're ministering to, because I minister to people, in my chair all the time while I do their hair. So they come in there in all walks of life, and so I have to be versed. I have to be versed in the Word. I have to be versed and experienced in the love of God. His love for me. You cannot give what you don't have. You can't do what you don't understand. So in the interim of me doing this, I had to get before God all the time and ask, Lord, show me how to love your people past what I see. Show me how to see them in rose-colored lenses. You know what I'm saying? Even though all hell is breaking loose. And as a prophet and a discerner of spirits, I can see people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can hear things, but it doesn't give me the right to tear them down. Right. And so, yeah, I love what you shared regarding people, and that's just exciting to hear you say that. And I just want to thank you with every fiber of my being for sharing this time with us, all of us. And there's people that are on live. There are people that will always hit me up later, and I get all kind of comments about, the lives that I put out, because I believe that they're anointed, number one. And they give place to the people who they give place to. Their hearts are ready to prepare. So I just want to thank you. And, let me tell y'all something about Natalie. Dr. Natalie Kennedy. I've been doing your hair for how long?
Long time. 2008.
2008. Not many times does she come to my shop or to my chair without a gift. Always something. Books, something to drink, fruit, cards. There's not one time. And she has taught me, if there's no one that's taught me, and I'm a giver already, but this woman of God has taught me to appreciate those that God allows to grace my chair, my platform. Now, when people are in my chair, I bless them with my ability to do hair. Yes, they compensate me, but I give people an excellent product. And I just want to thank you. This is a token of my love, my respect for you, the honor I have for you as a woman of God, as my client and my friend, for taking the time to be on my platform. And it's really the beginning stages of it. It really is. But I know God is going to take it to higher heights and deeper depths. And I definitely want to have you back on again on a larger scale, or even just a regular scale, because you have so much to give to people from your heart. I've watched you maneuver and be the woman of God that you are, and it's appreciated. And I do love you,
Twisted away.
Yeah. That we've been trying to do dinner because she can cook.
A little bit.
for a couple of years, and we haven't gotten to it, but we have to get to that. And I want to come spend some valuable time with you, not doing this and not doing your hair, but just chilling, maybe watching the game. And by the way, speaking of watching the game, you know the daggone Eagles got Saquon Barkley.
I know.
Oh, you see, bragging. She's an Eagle fan. I'm a Giant fan. So we go at it with that. But I just want to thank you so much for coming tonight. You live quite a bit away, and so I appreciate you. And I just want to pray with you guys. Thank you so much, everybody who took the time to be on. Father, we bless you. We thank you for each and every person under the sound of our voice on this live platform, and those that will come and hear at a later date. We bless them as well. We thank you for all that you have in store for your people. We're grateful that we can add our faith with the faith of one another regarding each and every person. We decree and declare salvation, deliverance, health, wealth are their portions as we add our faith with each other's faith regarding those that have partaken and will partake of the platform. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Thank you, Natalie. A thousandfold blessing to you. Double portion of the anointing back into your life for pouring out on us and just being here. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
You guys, listen to me. If you did not remember Dr. Natalie Kennedy's name, please inbox me. I'm expecting each and every person who knows me to be able to reach out to her and purchase a book. Purchase a book from the woman of God because she is around. Purchase a book for a child as a gift. I mean, go on her platform and do that. If you don't remember, please reach out to me via DM, instant message, text me, call me. Some of y'all know me personally. Please reach out and support this woman of God and the vision God has placed in her regarding over the books. And if you want to donate to my platform, please feel free by doing so. I do have Zelle, I have Venmo, and I have Cash App. My Cash App is $Deborah B, DeborahBee. My Zelle is my phone number for those of you who have it. And my Venmo is Deborah, DeborahBrown-176. All of that stuff will be on my platform, so you can be able to get those things freely. I appreciate you for just believing in what we're doing over here, the vision God has placed in my heart. We thank you in advance, and I decree and declare some 30, 60, 100, 1,000-fold blessing to each and every one of you that are willing to be obedient in your giving. Thank you so much. And for those of you who want to go deeper and higher at the same time, my spiritual mother is a prominent teacher in the body, in the kingdom. And she is on Tuesdays at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. She's in Houston, so it's 7:30 her time, 8:30 our time here on the East Coast. Feel free, if you want to grow in the things of God, to DM me. I will get you the Zoom platform information and link for you to grow. Thank you so much for your time. We love you, and we give God all the glory. Blessings. Peace. Okay, Nat.